Gentlemen, let me ask you something personal. Is the way you've been touching yourself for decades still what your body actually needs today, especially now that you're over 60? Perhaps you've noticed changes, less sensitivity, slower arousal, or maybe you're simply unsure what's considered healthy anymore. If so, you're far from alone. This is one of the most frequent concerns I hear from men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Not simply whether masturbation is acceptable, but how to approach it safely, respectfully, and in a way that genuinely supports your long-term health. I'm Dr. Sophie Morgan, a board-certified urologist with over 10 years of clinical experience helping men maintain connection with their bodies, preserve confidence in their sexuality, and navigate aging with strength, dignity, and comfort. Today, we're addressing something that's rarely spoken about openly, yet profoundly important. How to masturbate safely after 60, and the 3 critical mistakes you need to avoid at all costs. But before we continue, if this kind of honest, practical guidance resonates with you, please hit that like button, drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from, Kenya, Sweden, or Bangladesh perhaps, and make sure to subscribe. I'm here to provide straightforward, shame-free advice for men committed to protecting their health, function, and confidence. Now, let's establish something fundamental right from the start. Masturbation isn't merely acceptable, it's actually beneficial for your health. Particularly as we age, gentle, intentional self-stimulation represents one of the most natural approaches to supporting male wellness. Here's the science behind it. It preserves blood flow to penile tissue, which is absolutely vital for maintaining tissue health and preventing rigidity. It enhances prostate function by encouraging circulation and minimizing congestion. It decreases stress hormones, which soothes your nervous system and promotes better sleep quality. And crucially, it keeps you attuned to your body, which is fundamental for both emotional balance and self-assurance. But here's what you must understand. Your body at 60 and beyond doesn't function identically to how it did at 25. That's not a defect. That's simply human biology at work. Skin becomes thinner. Nerve endings require more time to respond. Blood vessels lose some of their elasticity, and recovery periods extend slightly. This isn't a handicap. It's actually an opportunity for adaptation. Your approach to self-pleasure needs to mature alongside your body. It's not about applying more force or seeking greater intensity. It's about being fully present, truly listening to what your body is communicating, and approaching yourself with genuine care. When you make this shift, something remarkable occurs. You experience deeper connection, greater relaxation, and more authentic satisfaction. Throughout my decade of clinical practice, I've guided thousands of men who are determined to age without sacrificing intimacy, confidence, or physical comfort. The reality is, most men haven't realized that their lifelong masturbation habits might actually be generating unnecessary tension, persistent irritation, or chronic dissatisfaction. The objective here isn't about performance metrics. It's not about speed or frequency. It's fundamentally about safety, sustained health, and pleasure that nourishes both body and psyche. And here's what my clinical experience consistently reveals. Men typically fall into 3 predictable patterns of mistakes. These errors are surprisingly common, but fortunately, they're also remarkably straightforward to address. So let's examine each one carefully. The first mistake, and it's extremely widespread, is rushing through the experience. Here's something most men haven't considered. When you hurry through masturbation, your entire physiology interprets this as a stress signal. Your heart rate accelerates, blood vessels narrow and restrict, and your nervous system shifts into high alert mode. Rather than experiencing relaxation and replenishment, your natural arousal response gets suppressed and pleasure capacity shrinks. From an emotional standpoint, rushing transforms self-pleasure into something that feels obligatory or even something requiring concealment. On a practical level, it conditions your brain to link physical touch with anxiety and tension rather than with comfort or genuine enjoyment. So what's the solution? Deliberately slow your pace. Even adding just 5 unhurried minutes creates substantial improvement. Begin with several deep, conscious breaths. Eliminate distractions, especially your phone. And grant yourself explicit permission to be completely present in this moment. Your body doesn't require mood, lighting, or complex rituals. What truly matters is cultivating a sense of safety, deep relaxation, and absolute presence with yourself. From a biological perspective, this calm, unhurried state triggers your blood vessels to dilate and open, reactivates dormant nerve endings, and regenerates lost sensitivity. Emotionally, it retrains your mind to recognize that physical touch equals pleasure, not stress. And practically speaking, you'll discover improved control, heightened satisfaction, and significantly less frustration. Which brings us to the second major mistake, applying excessive pressure during stimulation. This pattern develops gradually for many men past 50 or 60. As natural sensation diminishes with age, the instinct is to compensate by squeezing harder or employing more forceful movements. However, your penis simply wasn't engineered to withstand that kind of force. It's constructed from spongy erectile tissue, delicate nerve networks, and fragile blood vessels. Sustained excessive pressure creates microscopic tissue tears, chronic irritation, and can even produce a phenomenon colloquially termed death grip syndrome, a condition where you become responsive only to one extremely specific, intense type of stimulation, typically your own hand. Emotionally, this pattern breeds ongoing frustration and a sense of disconnection from your body. Practically, it significantly complicates achieving satisfaction with a partner. Here's the corrective approach. Consciously reduce your grip strength. Incorporate a natural, fragrance-free lubricant to minimize harmful friction. Shift your attention from chasing an outcome to simply experiencing sensation. Conceptualize it as therapeutic massage for your entire circulatory system. Biologically, this gentler approach maintains healthy nerve function and optimal blood circulation. Emotionally, it diminishes frustration while building genuine confidence. Practically, it generates more reliable pleasure and actually strengthens your capacity for partner intimacy. Now we arrive at the third mistake, one that catches most men completely off guard, neglecting the emotional dimension entirely. Here's a truth many don't want to acknowledge. Emotional burden, lingering guilt, or internalized shame doesn't simply evaporate over time. Instead, it embeds itself into your muscular tension, your breathing patterns, and your entire nervous system. This emotional holding can actively obstruct arousal, dramatically reduce pleasure capacity, and even compromise erectile function. Numerous men carry decades of unspoken shame, perhaps from restrictive childhood messaging, oppressive cultural conditioning, or simply the discomfort of experiencing their aging body. The path forward starts with self-compassion. You're not damaged, falling behind, or beyond redemption. You're simply entering a different life chapter that demands increased care, focused attention, and conscious intention. Give yourself unconditional permission to reconnect with your body gradually, without any pressure or timeline. If you require additional support, reach out to a healthcare provider you trust, a qualified therapist, or even an understanding friend. Biologically, releasing this emotional stress enables your blood vessels to expand naturally, allows nerve endings to become responsive again, and permits arousal to emerge organically. Emotionally, this process restores both dignity and the capacity for pleasure. Practically, it transforms masturbation from a rushed, anxiety-laden act into a genuinely mindful, restorative practice. So how do you actually construct a safe, health-promoting self-pleasure routine after 60? Let me walk you through the essential elements. First, prioritize hygiene. Always wash your hands thoroughly, use clean towels, and ensure your environment offers privacy and quiet. Second, never skip lubrication. Select a gentle, fragrance-free formula. It shields your skin from damage and actively supports healthy blood flow. Third, cultivate presence during the experience. Direct your focus towards sensation itself rather than fixating on any particular outcome. Slow, intentional touch proves far more effective than rapid, aggressive motion. Fourth, maintain body awareness throughout. Stay alert to any signals of pain, unusual tightness, swelling, or irritation. If anything feels abnormal, stop immediately. Fifth, honor the emotional component. Practice gentleness with yourself. Release any residual guilt or unrealistic expectations. Treat self-pleasure as a legitimate form of self-care. Sixth, establish routine rather than reacting to urgency. Even relatively brief, mindful sessions several times weekly help maintain circulation, preserve sensitivity, and strengthen your body connection. And finally, don't hesitate to seek professional guidance when needed. If you're experiencing persistent discomfort, unusual swelling, or any prostate-related concerns, consult with a medical professional promptly. Keep this perspective in mind. Beginning again in your 60s or 70s isn't moving backward. It's actually evolution in action. You're discovering what your body requires right now, not clinging to what worked decades ago. That represents genuine power, not something shameful. Your physical body still has inherent value. Your capacity for pleasure still matters deeply. Your confidence absolutely deserves protection. Each mindful, caring touch reinforces a profound truth. You remain fully connected to your body, your health, and your fundamental dignity. Approaching gentle, conscious self-pleasure after 60 isn't an act of selfishness. It's actually a practice in authentic self-respect. When you engage with intention and care, your body reciprocates with enhanced blood flow, restored sensitivity, and genuine emotional tranquility. So the next time you create space for yourself, remember these 3 adjustments. Slow your pace significantly, lighten your physical grip, and tune into your emotional state. These seemingly small modifications can genuinely transform not just your self-pleasure experience, but your comprehensive sexual health, overall confidence, and general well-being. If you found this information valuable, please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and consider sharing it with someone who could benefit from guidance delivered without judgment. Leave a comment below telling me your location. I genuinely want to hear from you. Remember this above all else, age doesn't signal the end of vitality. With appropriate care, focused attention, and consistent presence, you can absolutely maintain pleasure, meaningful connection, and unshakable confidence throughout every stage of your life. Stay strong, stay informed, and take excellent care of yourself.